So I find myself this evening in the middle of the town centre. I've been catching up, and they're showing all the Batman movies today, so I've been watching those and I've noticed some codes. But we're 45 days away from the big one. 45 days away from November 5th, and 45 comes to Spade, which is the top deck in the suit of cards. Obviously 45 is the 45th president, President Trump. 45 is effect, like the ripple effect, like the quantum effect, the Trump effect. Any effect, you can get bad effects, you can get good effects, so we're always looking for the good effects. But 45, hey Cindy, how you doing? 45 days to go. It's not long. It's not long. So I just, like I said, I watched Batman Begins. Batman is 51. It's great. It's QQQ. It's also some other numbers on the darker side of things, but I always tend to look at the positive. Positive is 115, 11/5, November 5th. But Batman Begins comes to 107, which comes to Trump's, which comes to quantum, which comes to military, which comes to currency, which comes to eternal life, comes to atonement, comes to Superman. Batman Begins comes to Superman. There's some nice kind of subtle Easter eggs in the films, actually, particularly in the Dark Knight. And the Dark Knight comes to 136, which is Marty McFly, which is Great Awakening. Dark Knight comes to 103, comes to Solomon, comes to Jack Kennedy, comes to September, comes to Princess. But they kept mentioning the MCU, which was the holding unit for where the Joker was, and the MCU is also Marvel characters universe. So DC Comics, Marvel Comics, you know, bit of parallel. And there's also a part in, which one is it in? Is it in the Dark? It's either in Batman Begins or the Dark Knight, because I've just seen the two of them. And there's a fraction of a second where it looks like the Matrix, where they're shooting. There's three of them shooting, and it looks like the Matrix. Looks like Neo. Well, it looks like the agents shooting, because they go, that's it. No, it's in the Dark Knight. So it's when Batman goes to get Lau from Hong Kong to extradite him on the Skyhook. And they mention the CIA and that. But there's 3, maybe 4 guys shooting in the building, and it looks like the agents shooting at Neo. Anyway, you know, they like to put those things in. Also, the Joker is Manhattan. It's 92, it's reverse. And Batman's 51, as I said, but if you do the Joker plus Batman, the dark and the light, it comes to 143, which is November 5th, which is Nessun Dorma, which is Melania Trump, which is Ground Zero, which is the President, which is Solomon Line. Mark told me that one earlier. The Quickening, 143. So this is because we're in a 3D world, we have a split. There you go, 68, which is Wayne, and 17, thumbs up, Q. We're in a world of polarities. That seems to be the basic fundamental, or a basic fundamental characteristic of this 3D world, dark and light. And these nuanced films are teaching us that. And they're pointing us in that upward trajectory of light, of dark to light. Because dark is 34, 34 is Grace, 34 is Neo, 34 is Leap, 34 is DJT. So I remember saying years ago with Charlie, I was saying that President Trump is Batman, but he's also in some ways the Joker, because he's able to use things that aren't logical at a certain level. They're not predictable. And President Trump has many characteristics, and one of them is not predictable. You can follow him, obviously, but in terms of when he's defeating his enemies, he's not predictable, which is one of the beauties of it. So he's able to play, he's able to flip it. That's what the Joker does in the movies. He flips things on their head to his advantage, but obviously Batman and the team defeat him. But it's interesting, the Joker 92 plus Batman is 143, and you'll know from the deck of cards that the Joker is often the trump card, the top card, and top is 51 Batman, but the trump card, the top card, is often the Joker card. You've got the Ace of Spades, which is 94, which is John, which is November. The Ace of Spades is 127, November 5th. But the Joker card is quite often the top card, the trump card. And there's even a part where they show that. They show one of the parts in the film, they show Joker, and it says Joker on the Joker card 4 times. I've seen ones where they just have it twice, but this one's got 4 of them. So I worked that out. Joker's 59. But when you times 59 by 4, you get to 238, and 238 comes to trump the art of the deal. 238, sorry, not 238, 236, correction. Trump the art of the deal is 236. The art of the deal, or the art of the deal, is 148, simple gematria. Donald J. Trump. Emmett Brown, time traveler. We got 101 in the chat, fantastic. 29, thumbs up. And that's quite often, yeah, that's what you'll see with the numbers and the pieces they put in the films. Nothing in films are inconsequential. Usually 99.9% of them are deliberate, particularly things like that with cards and props, etc. A lot of time goes into all of that, particularly with someone like Nolan. And Nolan is light, 56, 356. Christopher Nolan is 195. That's the other physics number. 19.5. And it's close to 1947, 19.47. They rounded up to 19.5. 1947, the year of Roswell. So something's been in progress for a long time, and we're getting to witness that now. We're getting to see it. So we've got 100 in the chat, 39 thumbs up. Now it's 40. 139 is 115. Art of the Deal, 115. November 5th, 11.5. And then plus X, because we're in 2024. 11.5 is Twitter, intelligence. Plus X, 39. Takes you, sorry, plus X 24 takes you to 139, which takes you to Christopher. There we go, we're jumping up in numbers, fantastic. And also something else as well, Bruce Wayne is 117, which is 5th Avenue. Who lives on 5th Avenue? President Trump. There's Trump Tower and there's Wayne Tower. And then if you do Harvey Dent, that's 122, that's America First, that's Millennium. You add them together, it's 239, which comes to 1963, which is the events and the year of JFK. So everything has been there. Everything is being pointed out in the films, in these scripts, and in these productions. So also as well, there were some other subtle references to where we're at. They talk about fireworks, which is obviously gunpowder plot, and November 5th. I mentioned as well with Manchester City, changing slight tangent, but the football team, they have 115 charges against them. 11.5 is November 5th. Charges, dynamite. See, everything's telling you where we're at. Another thing they mentioned in Dark Knight, The Dark Knight, is they said, oh, we'll have to bring in the National Guard, which I thought was interesting. I don't think I've actually consciously noticed that one before, but they did. They just subtly said we have to bring in the National Guard. And we've known from a while, for a while about Trump keeping the National Guard on duty and all that stuff. So 11.8, there you go. 118 is Guy Fawkes. And we did have 48 in the chat, which is thumbs up, which is Tom, but we've got 49 thumbs up now, which is yes. So what I've just said about those codes about November 5th, 118 is Guy Fawkes, and I was just talking about November 5th and Guy Fawkes. You see how it works? And then 49 is yes, which is yes, Guy Fawkes. So everything's telling us. And I just can't wait for it to all manifest and to be shown and to see. Hey Sharon, hey B3, hey Denise, how you doing? You're welcome. It is what it's a game. It's a high level simulation game that we're in. Game is 26. Card God 26. Game 26, and we're in it, and it's wonderful to behold. But we're going to be upgraded. I believe that's what's going to happen. Is the world, our reality, will be upgraded. The simulation will upgrade. Hey Elizabeth, 88 from Normandy in France. Wow, that reminds me, I was just listening to an advert earlier today saying you could take a ferry to Normandy. Send us an email, Corinne. I might take a trip to Normandy. That'd be wonderful. Haven't been to France for a while. France is 47, John. Paris is 63. France, Paris is 110, which is president. And Nolan, in his film Inception, uses the Avenue du Kennedy over the River Seine, and he uses that as the mirror, it breaks the paradigm of the illusion that they're in, of the dream, just for a moment, because then they're in another dream. But it's interesting he chose that, because he always does. He's mentioned JFK as well in his film Oppenheimer. So anyway, I'm going to get back to the third film. So wherever you may be, have a blessed evening. Get your shungite below, the links are below, and do subscribe to my free email. You'll get my numbers. I'll put out more numbers for you there. It's free to join on Substack, and if you want to be part of my book and be mentioned in there, you can do that by basically being a sponsor of it. So you can do that as well if you want to. But get on the free newsletter. All right, everyone. Much love. I will see you tomorrow, and no doubt I'll find some more things in Dark Knight Rises, and I'll mention them tomorrow. So tomorrow we are only 44 days away. 4-4. That's half of 88. There's double 22, which is MAGA. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love. Take care. Bye.